Shifters, Entrepreneurs on the Move, with your host, Amanda Barr, bringing you power-packed 15-minute conversations with entrepreneurs who share their stories of shifting in life and business to keep on the move.
Hey, this is your host, Amanda Barr, and I'm so excited for our show today because we're going to go, and I should say I'm going to go solo. Today's all about talking about the stories that we sometimes make in our head that are so real that they seem like they're real, but they're not. So let's start with a personal story. I'm going to share about this podcast journey that I've been on. In the beginning of 2019, I said I'm going to launch a podcast called Shifters, Entrepreneurs on the Move. It only took me a whole month to figure out the name. And then after that, I recorded 9 recordings, and then what did I do? Sat. Now, mind you, the show is called Entrepreneurs on the Move, right? Yet, I made stories up in my head. You know, the story ranged from, this is going to be a massive success and it's going to be so big. I'm going to be able to help so many people and travel the world and speak. And then the coronavirus hit and we're still in it. And the second thought was, oh my God, it's going to be a total dud. And it's going to be me, myself, and I liking this podcast. And I'm going to make them and enjoy it and have a blast. And nobody's going to listen, right? Now, let's put this into your world. Maybe you've got a project or a startup or something that you've been sitting on that you really wanted to happen, and maybe even told people about it, got them involved, and then crickets, right? Nothing happened. Now, don't make yourself right or wrong, right? It's not right or wrong. You just chose. And this is what I want to share today, is that in these times of when we have things we want to create and we don't do anything and we sit, there's no shifting happening, right? And there's a choice in that. Sometimes we don't see the choice because there's so many amazing reasons why it's not happening, right? I could give you probably about 50 reasons why the podcast hasn't launched till now. But what I'm excited about is that I'm launching it now, because I could sit another 6 months and do nothing, right? I could keep recording podcasts and then say, oh my God, I got so many, it's so going to take me so long to post and people aren't going to understand why I've got like 30 podcasts all coming out at once, right? I mean, I'm pretty good at making stories, and I'm sure there's some of you out there that you can make some pretty amazing stories too. So it's just about shifting and changing and transforming and getting things moving. And even though I'm even the one running this show and telling other people to move, I too have to also be aware that if I am not shifting or moving, nothing is happening. And I'm choosing that. And I think sometimes that's the hard thing, is to take that responsibility and say, no, I chose to wait. I chose to not do it, and now I get to make that choice different, right? I get to pause, look at the situation, see what's happened, see what needs to be done, see what gaps are in front and right now to get it through the finish line, to get it launched and move, right? You might be in that same spot. So just think about that in your world for a second. Like, what is it if you pause and just looked at everything that you have and the goal you want to achieve, or the business you want to start, or the project that you're in the middle of that you told a whole bunch of people you're going to do and it just hasn't happened? What's missing? What do you need to do? What are the few things? Sometimes we think it's going to take us, hours or days or months to get through that, but maybe it's not as hard as what we thought. Maybe it's going to not take as much time. And if it is, who can we get on board to help us? Because I think sometimes, if you're like me, like, we want to try to do everything on our own and conquer the world and be like, I did it. And sometimes that delegation, reaching out to somebody that has done it, been there before, and asking them, you could save yourself a heck of a lot of time, right? And I'm only saying that because I've done it and I'm there and I am too shifting. And I think that's one thing that I want to really express, is that I run a digital marketing agency. I work with a lot of businesses and I help make goals reality every day. That's the world I live in. And even then, when it comes to projects that I've got, I too have to move through and choose, and to understand that if I'm not moving, I'm choosing not to move and take responsibility for it. So what I want to give you is like an action step today, and what I've put into my own life and what I'm practicing every day, because it's not perfect and I'm okay with that. And I want you guys to also think about that, like those perfectionists out there, the list makers like myself. I love making lists, I love checking things off, and I love Excel sheets, and I love things to be in order and process, and it's got to be just pristine, and just being okay with not knowing what the next step will be. As long as I can plan out what I can see and I take action, then I can make something happen, right? I'm not going to hold myself back in just this world of like, I don't know if it's going to be good enough. I don't know if I'm good enough. What am I going to sound like? Am I going to sound, funny? Or, is this going to turn out like talking about the podcast, like, what's it going to be? Or, maybe you're going through that and you're thinking, oh, what are people going to think? Is this going to be a dud? Is it going to be amazing? Well, what if it's either? And I think the beauty is that we just get to edit. We forgot that when we start something, that sometimes it's just a few edits. It might be an edit on the process, it might be edit on marketing, it might be edit on the design, it might be edit on the copy. But it's just an edit. And it doesn't mean we have to trash the whole thing because it didn't work. It just means, we got to do a few tweaks. Find out what that customer really wants. Find out what they, they're looking for. What's something that they're going to, gravitate towards. And that's the same thing with your goal. Like, what's missing? Pause, look at the situation, and then make a choice. Like, does that align with what you want to do, with who do you want to be? And I think I also have to sometimes pause, and that pause has been quite the opportunity of growth. That pause is not natural. That pause is not ingrained yet. And I'm excited because, you don't want to live life looking in the rearview mirror, because what is that going to bring us, right? If we're just looking in the past and we're not actually seeing where we are today, and that I've got a choice to move forward, and it kind of wraps itself all back around. So to pull yourself out of that, it's to pause, look at the situation, what's missing, what do I need to do, who do I need to pull into this, and then take the steps to move forward. Keep on the move, just like shifters. You guys are all shifters out there. If you're listening to this, you're a shifter. You can make anything happen, and you get to be the entrepreneur that's on the move. Even if you're just starting out and you just have an idea, you are stepping into that place. You're stepping into the world of what is possible and what you get to create. So I hope this is, hitting home. I hope it's, revving you up, maybe giving you a little inspiration, a little bit of, you can do it. Because, it's sometimes I just like to think that, we are our biggest critic. And if we just believed in ourselves just a little bit more, what is possible? And I only say that because I do it to myself, and there's other people out there that are doing things, and you look and you go like, well, I could do that. Well, why aren't you? That's the question you should always ask yourself. Like, if you can do it, then why aren't you? And then what, not right or wrong, good or bad, what do you need to do to get there? There's so many people now that are on YouTube and they're doing different things, and you might have this passion and you might think, well, I want to do it. Well, what's missing? What do you got to do to get there? And to remember that those stories in the head, they can be the only reason that holds you back, and you choose it. Wow, pretty powerful, huh? So get out there. Whatever's happening in between your ears, it's just thoughts. And those thoughts only become what's happening when you say it and you do it. So if you transform those thoughts and you put the words behind it to make it happen, and you put the action behind to make it happen, and even if it didn't work exactly right the first time, you're going to edit it, and you're going to get better, and you're going to get better. And if you need to bring in people that are going to help you get better, then you just do it. So be inspired, be empowered, and keep on the move.
We hope you enjoyed the episode today. We appreciate each one of you for listening and hope you left inspired and motivated to keep on the move. If you think this episode might help or inspire someone else, please share. Don't forget to subscribe and keep in the loop to hear more incredible stories of entrepreneurs like yourself on the move. Thank you for our supporters, RTB Capital Group, Financial Powerhouse, Callcast, and Power Podcasting. Now, get out there and keep on the move.